Welcome back to Between the Laughs. I am Carlos Mencia, and we have Niblet Man over here.
Gabe Lopez over here.
Niblet Man. You'll find out why that's funny at some point. The Niblet Man. Trust me on this one. How was your week, man? Everything good?
Everything's great, man.
Yeah?
How are you doing?
Everything. It was good. It was good. Last weekend's Thursday show was weird and disappointing in some ways because we should have done so much more with that. But I hope that it becomes something.
It's going to be something big. I think in the disappointment,
Right.
there's going to be a phoenix that rises out of those ashes.
Yeah, good. Can we say where the show was?
Oh, yeah.
It says a show at Yamava where the Dirty at 12:30 is being transformed there into the Dirty at 9:30 on Thursdays. So
It's expanding. It's not moving.
It's expanding.
Because some people ask, hey, is it Dirty at 12:30 ending? No. It's just an expansion. So we moved over to California at the Yamava Hotel and Casino.
Right.
It's huge in there, isn't it?
Huge. By the way, the Dirty at 12:30, for anybody that doesn't know, every Friday at 12:30 or Saturday morning, technically at 12:30 at South Point Casino. There's a show there, and it is completely uncensored, and it's free to get in. But if you want to get in, you got to show up probably at around 10,
It gets packed.
11, because it just gets packed. And it's an amazing show. It's an iconic show. And it's a show where those of us, well, me kind of not, because I do whatever I do on stage anyway. But for a lot of the comedians who have to abide by certain rules that they can't do these kinds of jokes or those kinds of jokes or they say these kinds of things, those comedians literally sometimes will perform at a nice big venue somewhere on the strip,
Yeah.
but they're told, hey, don't be offensive, don't do this. And then at 12:30, they got a 9 o'clock show. It ends at 10:30. Then they go to your show, and then they're just like, let me fucking tell you what I was fucking thinking.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that you're not even part of that world since you've been famous for so long. But somebody at my caliber going to clubs around the country, the managers that tell you, hey, this is a PG-13 club, this is an older crowd, you want to keep the fucks at a minimum, and you don't even get it. You haven't. I don't know if you've ever gotten those speeches, but I'll get it where you have to.
Of course I have.
You have to diet down because it's just one of those. It's almost annoying because you have to think about it as opposed to just I'm gonna go through my thoughts and go through my set. And wait, are there any fucks in this sentence in this paragraph?
It's funny. So that I do those military shows.
Yeah.
And so with every military show, I say to them, don't tell me what I can't say. All right. I will assume that I can't go, right? It's kind of like a 1 to 10 hot beater, right?
Yeah.
Just tell me you can go up to 7. Don't tell me I don't want a 7, 8, or 9. I get it.
Yeah.
Right? If I go up to 7, I get that you don't want 8, 9, or 10.
Yeah.
Right? So if you tell me PG-13, I'm like, okay, can I say fuck? Maybe once. Okay. So now I know what it is. I know all the words I can't use. I know everything. And then my mind, instead of going to don't say this, don't say that, it's, well, you can say this, you can say that, you can say this, you can say that. And then all the words, you've seen me do it where I'm up on stage and you're like, you said a lot of damn and all that kind of stuff. But listen, here's what I want to talk about today, bro. I want to talk about how you and I grew up and how that affected the fact that I'll speak for myself. The way I grew up and because of the way my parents treated me, I don't have anxieties. I'm not freaked out by stuff. And I was on the way here thinking, man, when was a time when I really felt anxious? Like really, really anxious. And I remember when it was. It was at the Comedy Store. Bob's Muda. You know who Bob?
I know Bob.
So Bob's Muda, he was a big-time producer. He did this show called Comic Relief on HBO. I'd been doing comedy for literally months, maybe 6. And Mitzi says, hey, I want this guy Bob Muda to see you perform. And I remember, bro, I went on stage, and that's one of the times where I can honestly go, I sucked. Whether I got laughs or not was irrelevant. My mouth was dry. I was stuttering. I mean, my heart was racing out of my chest. I felt like I was gonna, I had anxiety.
Yeah.
I literally was anxious on stage, and that was the last time that I can remember feeling like that. And by the way, bro, I mean, I didn't feel like that when I did Gator Growl. Gator Growl was 98,000 people
Wow.
in that state, or 90-something thousand people at that stadium. Just packed. It was Chappelle. It was me. It was Larry the Cable Guy. It was Ray Romano.
Wow.
All in one show. Didn't feel that.
Yeah.
Didn't feel that. Tonight Show. Didn't feel that. Specials. Didn't feel that. That one time early in my career was the one time that I can remember being anxious. And as a kid, my parents put me into some weird situations where it was fight or flight, but I wasn't anxious like that. And the reason why I'm bringing it up and when I want to compare the way you grew up, the way I grew up, the way kids grew up today, is because my son's friends were over the house and they were all talking about the things that make them anxious. And it was literally everything.
It's tiny stuff too, isn't it?
Everything. I mean, literally, dude, there's a
We didn't
kid.
grow up with the word trigger other than on a gun.
Right. But, dude, my son has a friend who lives by our house, right? He lives by our house. But he won't give Lucas a ride home because it gives him anxiety that he's driving somebody. I can't imagine when I had a car in
When we
high
first
school.
had a car, let's shove
right?
all these motherfuckers in.
Yes. I can't imagine me looking at my friends, right? Where I had a Datsun 510, okay? You can look it up if you want to see. It's literally a tiny car. Can you seat 5 people in there? 5 really skinny high schoolers, and we did. But I can't imagine me looking at Tony going, bro, I have anxiety.
I know we're neighbors.
Driving you guys. They would have punched me in the face at that point. It was so. But I don't want to ridicule. I don't want to ridicule the kids.
Because the feelings are real. Well,
And here's the thing, though. What I want to talk about is as much of the fact that it's our fault as parents. We failed them. If they're the shittiest generation of kids, we are the shittiest generation of parents. And nobody wants to talk about that. Everybody just wants to go, oh, man, can you believe Gen X? Can you believe Gen Z? And I'm like, yeah, I can. Because you guys did this to them. We did this to them, as a communal thing. And that's what I want to talk about. So I want you to talk about
I do have an anxiety moment that compares to
well,
your
go
anxiety.
tell me your anxiety moment, and then tell me what you grew up like, what it was like for you. But give us the anxiety one
The
first.
anxiety moment, it was early on in my career as well. I'm going to say if I was 2 years in, that's a lot. And I lived in San Bernardino, California, which is like an hour to an hour 30, depending on traffic, outside of Hollywood. So it was a Friday night, and there was a show called Refried Fridays run by a guy named Richard Villa.
Yeah, it was Friday nights at 9 o'clock at the Melrose Improv.
The Melrose Improv.
Yeah.
So getting on an improv stage is huge, especially at the one in Hollywood.
Yes.
And I'm on the lineup, and Richard told me you're on the lineup, and I know I'm new, but I'm early on the list. So great, I'm one of the first on up, and Friday nights, Saturday nights, especially around the Comedy Store, around the Laugh Factory, the improv,
packed.
the famous of famous show up.
Yeah.
So
That was during mine and Mencia days, man.
yes.
I would pop in there all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what happened is Brad Williams was on the lineup, Steve Trevino was on the lineup, Russell Peters was on the lineup, and my mind's blown. Like I'm like, I get to watch these guys. I'm so excited. And then Jeff Garcia shows up.
3 of the people that you're for were my openers
Yes.
back in the day. Wow.
And Jeff Garcia comes up, and I'm just in my head going through my set, going through my 6 minutes, okay,
Right.
which is an eternity. Like
Right.
it's like I'm like going through my 6 minutes, my 6
Right.
minutes, my 6 minutes.
Right.
Jeff Garcia walks in, and all he notices was that apparently he felt disrespected that I didn't kiss the Godfather's ring.
Okay.
That was not what I was trying to do. I was just in my own head trying to get through my
Sure.
6 minutes.
Sure.
However, Jeff Garcia decided to go to Richard Villa, and I'm naming these names because this is a very real story, not hiding anything.
Sure.
Jeff Garcia goes to Richard Villa. Hey, Richard, that rookie over there. Yeah, that's Gabe. He's going on early. Put him on at the end.
Oh.
So now Richard Villa comes up to me. Hey, bro, I had to change the lineup up. So now you're the last one on the lineup. So you're closing out the show. Congratulations. And he
You're
walks
the
away from me.
lesson.
I'm the lesson. So I'm going
Oh
on
my
after. I'm going on
God.
after. Brad Williams,
Uh-huh.
Steve Trevino,
Uh-huh.
Jeff Garcia, and Russell Peters.
Yes.
Now I'm in my head, and there's a blessing and a curse in knowing Russell Peters.
Yes.
And if you've never met Russell Peters, one, I've never heard anybody say anything bad about him. He's the sweetest guy in the world. He deserves all the success that he has.
He's a nice guy.
And he notices what's going on. And he's
Sure.
smart enough, and he grabs me by the shoulder. He's like, Gabe, don't worry about it. Just calm down. And this is what's going to happen. You're going to go on after me. So I'm going to sit down and watch your set because I'm actually looking for new openers for my next tour. I'm like, you're not fucking helping me, Russell Peters. Now you added more stress. I'm trying to get through my 6 minutes.
Right,
my hands are clammy right now.
Right,
I can picture the feeling of overwhelm.
Sure. He looked at you and went, relax.
Yeah.
This is more important than you even thought it was.
You're actually auditioning for me. Don't even worry about this. I'm working on getting you on a world tour. I'm not kidding you how clammy my hands are now. Just
thinking about it.
And I don't remember getting a laugh. I just wanted to get through those 6 fucking minutes. It wasn't even about. I just wanted to get through the 6 minutes.
Right.
And I remember, like, I talked to Jeff Garcia about this. He doesn't remember doing that conveniently, but I'm like, Jeff, bro, you did this to me just because I didn't kiss the Godfather's finger, and that wasn't my intention. I just wanted to get through my 6 minutes in Hollywood. And he's like, bro, I don't remember that. I remember it like it was fucking yesterday.
Yeah, probably wasn't a big deal to him at the moment.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
He was just like, hey, that kid needs to be taught a lesson.
Yeah. I wouldn't teach you that lesson for that reason, but I would teach you a lesson similar, but for a reason, and if I knew you well enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like one time I told Brad, because Brad in the beginning was doing so many dwarf jokes that it was like, bro, you're not just a dwarf. You gotta start exercising, just being funny, just going to the store, just, being in a relationship, whatever it is. And I kept telling him like, right, and he didn't. And what I would tell these guys is, look, I don't care if you bomb. As long as you're doing new stuff, that means you're trying and you're growing.
Yeah.
So I told him, if I hear one joke that I heard before, you're off the tour. But you could go up on stage and do whatever you want. You could eat a big bag of dicks, and we're going to be good.
Yeah.
Nothing bad's going to happen. Just don't tell the same joke you told on the first show. That's it. And so I would do stuff like that to these guys.
But you're helping them grow. You're not teaching them a
that's
lesson.
not the way they looked at it.
Hold on, yeah.
That's not the way they looked at it.
That piece of shit, Carlos.
Come on, exactly, bro. Dude, because they forget to tell people the part where I say you will never get kicked off the tour for bombing if you're trying new stuff. Ever. You could just not even get one laugh. Not even one laugh. And you know what was born from this? Ironically, and he was here last week, Juan Villarreal went on stage before him and did all his jokes.
Did all of Brad Williams jokes.
Yeah.
So
because Brad was so scared.
The taller Mexican guy did midget jokes.
Yeah, so he goes on stage and goes, oh, the next guy coming up, little midget, he's going to do this joke, and he's going to talk about his shoes, he's going to talk about his little jacket, he's talking about Oshkosh, he's going to talk about this, he's going to say this, he's going to run around that, and he did his entire act, okay? So that but it was helping him as well, because he was like, I'm going to make sure that you have to tell brand new jokes by exposing all your stuff. So anyway, I would do stuff like that too, but not because you didn't say hi to me and I don't know you.
Yeah, this was malicious. There was no good intentions with what happened this particular night.
So you don't even remember the night.
I can't believe my hands are so clammy right now.
It took you back.
Yeah, like it took me back to.
Right. So this is the one moment, right? For you, not a lot, not freaked out.
Yeah.
How were you raised? Like, what were your parents like? What were the lessons that they taught you, in your opinion, that, led you to not be anxious, led you to be, the man that you are today?
I definitely I'm definitely blessed between my mom and my dad. My dad was always trying to keep me grounded. My mom was always reach for the stars, swing for the fences. Okay. So there was a balance in that.
Okay.
And I think there has a lot to do with the pussification of kids today, because we're in a generation right now where the kids didn't grow up during some sort of war, some sort of conflict. My dad was in the military during the Vietnam conflict.
Right.
and thank God he didn't go to Vietnam. His platoon had 300 soldiers, 290 of them went to Vietnam, 5 went to Germany, 5 went to Korea. My dad was one of the 5 that went to Korea. So
Just luck of the luck.
It was just luck. It was just sheer luck. My dad's a black belt in Taekwondo. My dad learned discipline being in the military.
Right.
So my dad's the one that taught me, like, I'm 5 years old. Shake his hand. Or in Spanish, salúdalo.
Mm-hmm.
Shake his hand, you know, and look him in the eye. Every time you shake somebody's hand, you look him in the eye. And that's the stuff that my dad taught me, you know, and just, you know, and always have that respect. And my mom's like, if we're in a restaurant, we tip. This is how they earn their money. And we tip. So, you know, just shit like that, little stuff that you did not know would be so impactful as an adult as just normal everyday life that kids aren't taught today.
Right.
You know, kids today don't even know how to use cash. They you know, and there's an Uber life that you and I don't necessarily understand. We know it exists.
Right.
They don't know what it's like to write a check.
Right.
You know, everything is online, and and everything is just such a different world, and I think there's a blessing in the pacification. Like, you know, I hate these little fuckers that wear Crocs. I hate these little electric scooters because you and I had to ride bicycles.
Shit, walk.
But you know what the benefit is? I have nice fucking legs from fucking riding my bike. I would ride my bike to fucking baseball games.
Right.
So I'm already warmed up, right? Because I've been riding my bike for 5 miles before I get to the fucking field.
Right.
So these skinny little, not going out in the sun little fucks is just a product of not having men. And when I say men, our grandfather, our fathers grew up in a much different time than you. And I think it's transitioning because we still have the impact of our fathers and our grandfathers.
Right.
But it waters down. Like
it's very watered down today.
So like for example, there was a time, because obviously I'm bilingual, and Spanish was first in the house. But my dad figured out that my sisters and I were just speaking English in the house. So there was a time that I hated my dad, but we were only allowed to speak Spanish in the house.
So you could learn Spanish.
So to make sure that, one, we didn't lose it, and we perfected it, because we weren't born in Mexico, so we weren't raised.
Right.
We were raised by my mom and my dad and my aunts, whoever, and that's the Spanish I was exposed to. It wasn't a 24-hour situation the way it was for them.
Well, not only that, but think about the fact that today I know kids that go, I have anxiety going to parties when my Latino family starts speaking Spanish, and I have no idea what they're talking about, and now I feel judged. Now I feel anxious. Now I feel like everybody thinks I'm stupid. Like that, for example, right? We want to sit there and go, why are you feeling that way? But it's what you said. Your parents were like, no, you need to speak Spanish.
Yes.
So they took the time to do it. These kids' parents did not. They speak Spanish, but their kids don't. And that anxiety of not knowing Spanish was birthed by those parents who didn't teach their kids that. And that's kind of the stuff that I want to get to about what it was that was done for us. Now, I would say they went too far in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? Our parents did. So my dynamic is way, way different and very complicated. So I have a mother and a father, a birth mother and birth father, that between them they have 18 children. I have 11 sisters, 6 brothers. Actually, I have 11 sisters and 7 brothers, because we just found out recently that when my mother was pregnant with me on her way to America, the visa didn't come in time. So I was left here for a few months. My mother had to come to America because of the visa and the green card. And while she was here, my birth father thought she was going to leave him. So he had an affair. And I have an illegitimate brother.
There's a bastard child out there.
There's a 19th, bro. There's a 19th, which I have not accepted, because the minute I go, yeah, that guy's my brother, his name is Giovanni, I'm going to have to find a way to bring him to, all of a sudden it's going to be like, well, mijo, you know, you have so much and you could help him. And if you give him a job, it's going to help him get a visa. And then, nope. Already took care of my family.
Where was he born? Do you know?
Honduras.
Oh, he was born in Honduras.
So he still lives in Honduras, but he's trying to come here on a visa through our family. I will not be responsible for that in any way, shape, or form. But anyways,
you've done your time.
So my birth mother and birth father, right? My birth mother was an orphan, and she has 3 brothers. One of them, his name is Juan Pablo. Juan Pablo came to America. He's the first one. He's amazing. He's the person I call my father. We call him Pablo Gump, right? Because if we start talking about stuff, he'll be like, we could start talking about Ukraine and Russia. He'd be like, oh, I remember when I was in, get the fuck out of here, dude. You were not in Ukraine. No, I was one time in Crimea. How? How? When did this happen? He's that guy.
And he knows all the cities and all the local.
Dude, yes. He'll literally tell me, go to this place and ask for this guy. Like, yeah, I'm going to go there and ask for that guy, Dad. But he's the first one that came to, he came to America. He's the one. He is the pivot, the guy responsible for every Mencia from where I come from that came to this country. Mm-hmm. So he comes here. He meets Consuelo, my mom. She's Mexican. They get together. Once they get together, they realize, my father realizes, man, I have family in Honduras. So he asked my mom, is it okay if I bring my family? Which is his sister and two brothers. Magdalena, my mother, is his sister. So they immigrate. He gets some stuff. She's pregnant with me. Come to find out that my mother and father, who are my uncle and aunt in reality, can't have kids.
Okay.
They never went to the doctor to find out who couldn't have kids.
Who was the issue?
Because they didn't want to blame each other, which I find like it's just so amazingly
I think it's admirable.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And yet a doctor could have fucking helped you, idiot. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in vitro, I mean, dude, there could have been so much, but they chose that. So anyway, when my mother had me inside her womb and she was coming to America because of him, she said, this child is yours. When this child comes out, this child is yours. You will be the mother and father.
Just handed you off, huh?
This is you, man. So we lived on Bonnie Beach on a lot that had two full houses, not like a small house. Yeah. A house in the front and a house in the back. I lived in the house in the front with my mom and dad as an only child. The house in the back had my mom and dad and all my brothers and sisters. All right? So at any barbecue, if I said, Mom, 2 people would answer. Papi, 2 people would answer.
Wow.
My mother who raised me was very strict. Dude, very strict. She was an unbelievably awesome mother, but she was just about discipline, rules, regulations. You know what I mean? She was that person. My dad was the dreamer, the fly, the run, the go do the thing. You know what I mean? I would say to my dad, Dad, we're going to play in the championship of the soccer game. You going to come? Do you play for me or do you play because you love the game? Oh, no, I play for me. Then do I have to go to make you happy? Because I love you. Doesn't matter what you do. Doesn't matter if you win or lose. When you come back, I'm going to be here for you. But I don't have to watch you play. It doesn't mean anything to me. And I was like, it made me realize immediately just that. Like, oh, shit. I do these things for me. And in my life, because of my father saying things like that to me, I never felt like I had to do shit to make other people happy. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was always, why do I do stand-up? For me. Why do I eat this? For me. Why do I drink that? For me. It's for me. Yeah. All of it is for me. I don't do stuff for other people. And sometimes I do. And there's something that really pisses me off about doing things for other people. And I try to teach this to my kids. The other day, Amy, my wife, asked me to do something. And I was like, God, I don't want to do it, but I'll do it. And she goes, if you're going to do it with that attitude, never mind. And I was like, listen, that's not the way the world works.
It's going to get done.
You're going to ask me to do things that I don't want to do. But I'm going to do them because I love you. But I'm not going to be in a good mood about it because I don't want to do that. I don't want to go in the backyard into our equipment thing where the pool stuff is and get all that nasty crap that landed on there with mud and insects and maybe even a snake back there. Do I want to do that? No. Am I going to do it? Yes. And will I be proud after I do it because I did a good job? Yes. But you have to accept that it's okay for me to not be happy about doing the stupid, shitty job.
Yeah.
It's like if you have a truck. Anybody that doesn't have a truck, listen to me. If you buy a truck,
Don't get a truck.
Know this. You are going to be the guy that hauls everybody around, that takes everybody places whenever they have boxes or too much things to put in a regular car. That's going to be you. And that was me. Pickup truck guy.
Hey, can you help me move this refrigerator? I got to pick up this refrigerator.
Yes.
Would you mind?
Yes.
So,
but people want you to be like, hey, I'm happy to be here. No, I'd rather be scratching my nuts watching the game.
Yeah.
But you're my friend, and I'm going to do it. And that's okay. Yeah. But I'm not in a good mood about it, and that's not a problem. I'm going to get over it. We're going to be okay. It's not, like, I try to teach my kids that you do not have to be happy when you do things for other people. And you don't have to expect them to be happy when you ask them to go out of the way to do something for you.
Yeah.
Just understand that they did it. Why do they have to do it in a certain way in order for you to be happy? They did it. Yeah. Did your shit get moved? Yeah. Were your boxes from point A to point B? Yeah. Then what the fuck is your problem now? Yeah. Oh, now I'm pissed because you were pissed. Oh, my God. I did what you wanted to and you're still not happy?
I helped you carry this fucking refrigerator. You wanted me to smile the whole fucking time?
Right. Right.
You got it?
And let me be upset about it. Let me be mad about it. Let me hate you for a second. We're friends. We're family. Whatever it is. But my father taught me all those lessons as a kid. My mom, my mother was the kind of person that if she was combing my hair and I moved, she would smack me on the head with the back of whatever brush I was doing. If she was cutting my hair, bro, and I just went like sideways, oh, I'm going to cut your ear off. Stop. Like, she was very, very much that person. And my dad was be free, be cool, do your thing, until I went too far. Then he was the one that got a rope. Yeah. And just went clink, clink, or got that belt and went clink, clink, and said, mijo, you're going to have to pay the price. Yeah. And I would just get on my knees, and he would smack me around, and he wasn't bam, 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 bam. Yeah. He was a guy that would hit me once.
It was the lesson.
But good.
But it was.
Oh, but go, bro.
It was just the lesson.
Oh, good. He's a lefty. And he had this little wristy thing that he would do. Oh, my God, bro. He was so good at it, bro, that every time he hit me with a belt, I had like a little small 1-inch bruise, like toward the bottom of my back, where the belt just went and snapped. Oh, God.
Where it broke the sound barrier?
Yes, every time. And it never hurt right away. I would always hear the and go, not bad. No. Oh! Like, it just like took a second in. But growing up with all these people and growing up as a single child, growing up with these parents and growing up with those parents, I had the best lessons of life. In one house.
You think you got the best of both worlds of having a shitload of kids and having only child syndrome?
When I hated being an only child, I got to go be one of a billion kids.
Now, were you raised where that other house was full of your cousins?
No. I mean, sometimes. But it was.
How old were you when you found out what the reality was?
It was never. I don't ever remember a time not knowing I had two moms. Never. And it was funny because I remember being a kid and we had a kind of a woman that helped out with the kids because my mom was working at the time. Both of my moms were working. Both of my dads were working. And she kept telling me, like, that's your real mother. That's not your real mother. She was talking about my birth mom being my real mother and my mom, my real mom, that I call my real mom, not being my real mother. And I was like, no, that's my real mom. That's my mom, but that's my real mom. And I still believe that. Yeah. The woman that is inside my soul, you know what I mean? Yeah. The woman that... The voice that's in my head.
That raised you as an only child.
The one that I hear when I'm about to do something stupid.
It's her voice.
That's that voice, bro. That's her voice. And, dude, she makes me want to cry now. Because now that she's a grandmother and she's so nice to her kids, she'll do something. Like, she'll spoil my 8-year-old and do something that I'm like, Mom, I told him he can't have anything when we go to the store. That was the whole point. Like, this was a lesson. Yes, you can come to Target with me, but I'm not going to buy you anything. And then she'll start like crying and go, was I too hard on you, mijo? And I'm like, oh, now we're going to play this fucking game? Now this is the shit that we're going to deal with? No, Mom, it's fine. You were supposed to spoil him. I'm not, and that's fine. Just give me sometimes this moment to raise the kids. And sometimes she'll do it on purpose. Because when I was a kid, I would say to her, man, when I'm older and I have kids and I have money, Mom, I'm going to get them whatever they want. So now sometimes she'll do it on purpose and go, oh, no, mijo, your father said that. He was going to give you whatever you want. And I'm like, what are you doing to me? But, you know, they get old enough. But, yes, I had best of both worlds. My birth mother had a lot of anger issues, bro. A lot. I remember one time.
So many fucking kids? I don't know why.
Dude, I remember one time, like a movie, bro. I was in the closet, scared, just holding my knees, sitting down on the floor, looking up at all the coat hangers going, please, please, please don't come in here to hit me. That was my birth mother because, you know, something had happened and one of my sisters did something.
Was she mad at everybody or just mad at you? I know you were
she
scared.
wasn't even mad at me.
Okay.
She just started beating my one sister, and then my other sister said something, so she took it, and then I just ran upstairs.
The tornado started.
And I was just scared out of my mind. Yeah. And, you know, look, I don't want anybody to take from what we're talking about that, hey, this is what you should do so your kids don't have anxiety. Yeah. But when you feel that, and I don't know if that was anxiety or fear, I don't know. But now I just don't feel anxious, you know. I remember we would play outside, and if a car came slow, we would all say slow car, which meant this might be a drive-by. Yeah. And if the car went by and nothing happened, we literally just go back out on the street and start playing again.
Because nothing happened.
And there was no part of me, I remember vividly, no part of me. And look, I know that the things that I'm talking about are very extreme, you know, parents hitting us and parents. But I also remember 3 times in my life, they didn't coordinate well or they forgot or whatever it is. I was told that they didn't coordinate well. I have no idea what the real story is. But the daycare center closed at 6. And my parents had to pick me up 3 times at the police station because they would hand me off to the police.
Wow.
Because nobody was there to pick me up. And I remember loving police officers. I remember when they would go, we're going to have to call the police. And in my head, I was like, I'm going to get a Snickers and a Coke. I'm going to get a Snickers and a Coke. I was so excited, bro, because I was going to get a Snickers and a Coke because they were going to take me to a police station on 3rd Street in East LA at the park where they have the ducks. All right? I remember that. I knew the sheriffs were going to come, and that's where they were going to take me, and that's where my parents were going to pick me up.
And I get snacks.
And I was going to get a Snickers and a Coke, brother. And I was just so happy about that. But, like, even you know, when we would go places, like you said, my mom would say, I do a joke about the preventative ass whoopings. You're not going to say anything. You're not going to do anything. And there was, don't embarrass us. That was huge in my family.
That's a big one, yeah.
Huge. Like, did you make us look bad? I swear to God, almost to a level of Japan type of you make a family name look bad. You know what I mean? Like,
you disgrace your family.
Yes, bro. Just so, like, what did you do? And you said what to who? You know what I mean? Was he here for more than 10 minutes and you didn't offer him something to drink? What, are we poor? What, you don't have class or manners? Like, everything was about showing good face, making us look good, making our family look good. Don't mess up. Don't fuck up. Speak Spanish. Yeah. All these rules and regulations, which I hated, and you had them too. Yeah. But now, looking back, it's part of the reason why a lot of this stuff doesn't faze me.
Well, I know I look, it's to add to something you just said right now. There were times early on in my life where I didn't know we were poor. That's not how my parents,
I never knew we were poor.
I
found out we were poor when I started doing stand-up.
Yeah, we may not have had a lot of money, but we were never poor.
Correct.
And that was something that there's a huge difference that I wish people could be taught, because there's so many things that looking back on it, we didn't need money for. There was family, friends, cousins, whatever. It's like, and if we were together, and I remember times where my dad would pull out too big those sawhorses from a construction and put a sheet of plywood on top, and there'd be 30 of us, and we had like 2 buckets of chicken, and wherever house we're at, there was a big pot of rice and a big pot of beans and a whole lot of tortillas, and somehow that fed 30 people well.
Yeah.
Well.
Yep. And we were rice and beans.
And I remember stuff like I look back on those memories fondly.
Right.
Like, I don't remember not laughing. I don't remember not having the best time ever. I don't remember not running around with my cousins.
Christmas tree full of presents. Were they great presents? No. But they were presents.
All I know is I was excited for midnight, and all the kids.
Yes.
Remember like at 11:50.
Dude.
All of us had our presents
Yes.
and waiting for
Yes.
midnight. Nope. Wait.
Yes.
Can we just do a few minutes early? Nope. Wait.
And I would watch these movies of the American kids that would go to sleep on Christmas Eve and wake up in the morning and the presents are there. And I'm like, I used to do a joke about this. I was like, dude, we grew up poor. There is no way that my mother could ever have been like, mijo, go to sleep, and tomorrow when you wake up, bitch, tomorrow is at midnight.
Yeah.
That's tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going to open up my shit tomorrow in about 2 hours. Good. No way. And I know where the presents are. They're in the closets in the back behind the little tarp that you put where my friend. Don't you lie to me, Mom. Go get them. At tomorrow at 12, we're opening our gifts. No, I never saw myself as a poor person. Never saw us as victims. And look, expectations. Let me be honest with you. Personally, I can't even speak that much for my sisters and brothers. But personally, bro, I was always the one in my family. From the beginning, everybody was like, he's smart. He's going to go to college. He's going to be successful. He's going to buy a house for his mother and father. And not just a house for my mom and dad, but a house for my mom and dad and my mom and dad. Like, that pressure was on me from the beginning, right? From the get-go. And I still don't remember personally feeling crazy anxious about all that stuff. I think that my father putting me through all these, telling me do things for yourself, sending me to Honduras when I was a kid to go to school there, right? Now I'm over here and I'm just scholastically killing it. Then I go to Honduras in the 10th grade, and I got to learn I know how to speak Spanish, but at that point, I'd never written it.
Yeah.
So now I'm back to basics, bro. A-E-I-A-E-O-U type stuff. You know what I mean? Like I and E before C, all the, in Spanish.
There's extra letters.
Extra letters, the ñ, the double L.
The ch.
Ch, L, L, N. Yeah. So learning all this stuff and like getting smacked down. You know what I mean? Look, I'll probably share this story more than once, but it's very, very relevant to what I'm talking about. How my father was able to feed my ego and give me a sense of pride while at the same time, boosting me up. Yeah. So I remember one time anyway, went to the village. I was 18. They had a soccer tournament. I scored the tour winning goals. I talked about this the other day to synopsize. When I came back to the house, I was excited. I said, we won 2-0. I scored the goals. And my father was like, and you're excited? You're playing against malnutrition kids that haven't eaten good food in 2 days. Don't be that excited. It wasn't that big of a deal. And I was like, okay, well, that sucks. But then when all the people from the village came in, he was like, my son, was he the one? Yes, this village wouldn't be shit without me and my family and my son, the best player that ever came out of here ever. And I'm upstairs hearing that too, going, oh my God, I'm the man. Fuck yeah, he was just trying to put me in my place and give me
But
perspective.
do you think there was a benefit in, like, was there a proper perspective he was teaching you?
Yes.
Or he was just trying to just kind of deflate?
No, he knew I was going to hear that. He knew I was going to hear him boast about me. I think that what he was trying to say to me was always put things in perspective, right?
Was
And
that a humility thing? Like, hey,
No,
It's-
it was more about just put it in perspective. I'll give you an example. I don't like saying that team sucks, right? It's not my thing.
Yeah.
I don't like it. And when people tell me that, I use it against them. So I have a friend who's a huge football fan. He's a big Raider fan. And he kept saying a specific team sucked, right? That team sucked, that team sucked, that team sucked, that team sucked, that team sucked. Let's say it was Denver. Denver sucks, Denver sucks, Denver sucks, Denver sucks. And then one day, he calls me up and he goes, "See that shit, bro? We beat Denver." And I was like, so you accomplished nothing. You beat a horrible team that sucks. Why would you even care? They're horrible. You said they suck. You just beat a shitty team. Oh, come on, bro. They're good, dude. They're good. Oh, so now they're good.
Yeah.
I think that what he was trying to do was give me that perspective. The perspective of, look, you should be proud of your accomplishments, but you shouldn't be proud beyond what the accomplishment was. You didn't score in a professional game. You didn't score against professional players, semi-professional players. You literally scored against kids that we could put in a commercial that says, Olivia has problems eating, but for 35 cents a day.
Yeah.
Literally, those are the kids that I was playing against. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like, so his perspective was to give me perspective, which is a lot
It's a great lesson.
of what we didn't teach our kids. And it's kind of what I want to get to. I think that parents today who have kids that are young, you have to scold them. You have to be disappointed in them. You have to let them know that what they didn't make you happy. Yeah, I love you no matter what, but there's also a little part that has to, like, I knew that my dad loved me no matter what, but I also wanted to do things that would make him proud. Did I do them to make him proud? No, because he taught me to do things for my own.
Yeah.
But did I do things that I was like, I hope he's proud of this? Not like, man, if he's not proud of this, it's not like that.
Yeah.
But like, man, dad, this. And he'd smile. Like, you know what I mean?
Like a good job, son. And
Yeah.
that was just an added bonus.
Yeah.
For something that you did for yourself.
Yeah. And sometimes, by the way, it was a moment that I never expected. Like, my dad has seen me perform maybe 5 times live.
Yeah.
Right? Not a lot. Doesn't care about it. Not a big deal to him. Whatever. But here's the thing, bro. Mine and Mencia. Super Bowl commercial. He's never told me I'm proud, I'm anything, and I'm not looking for it. Not why I'm saying it. But when I did the second Super Bowl commercial, or was it the first one? I think it was the first one. Well, first and second. So the first Super Bowl commercial I did for Budweiser, my dad goes, my mom goes, "Mijo, there's a truck outside. I don't know what's going on." So I go outside the house, and there's a Budweiser truck. And I go, "What's going on?" And they're like, "Hey, Carlos, how you doing, man? I'm a huge fan." I'm like, "Yeah, what's up, man?" He goes, "Budweiser found out that you're doing a party, and
They wanted to sponsor it.
they wanted to provide you with whatever you want." So he opens up the back of the truck and goes, "Take what you want. Whatever you want, it's yours, courtesy of, Budweiser." And, I mean, there's drinks, there's drinks, there's beers, you know what I mean? Everything. My dad comes out, and he goes, "What's going on?"
Well, it's a dream come true.
And I go, "Dad, Budweiser, who I'm doing a commercial for, just sent this truck and said that whatever we want, we can get. So go look, and whatever you want, you can take it off the truck, and he'll put it in the house." And my dad looks at me, and his eyes water. His eyes water.
My life has peaked.
His eyes water. And he looks at me, and I swear to fucking God, he goes, "You made it, Mijo, you made it." Like that, dude. His voice is crackling. I can't believe they sent a truck from Budweiser to my house. Mijo, you made it. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? this is what turned, like, do you know how much I've done? I'm the first Latino to do this and that and this and that. And my Budweiser commercial at the time was like this and that. And
Look at all the Bud Light you got, mijo.
but free Bud Light, that's that's the moment, dude. That's the space in our time. But my father purposely, you know, because when I asked my dad, like, why'd you send me to Honduras when I was 10? Because I needed you to learn that when you change situations, you get demoted. One day you're going to get a job, and then you're going to get another job. And when you get the second job, you might have to go down to go back up. You might have to change and not make as much money so that one day you can make more money. And he just taught me all these lessons in life because he got me ready for adversity. He got me ready for the rainy days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go outside and cut the grass, mijo, today. And when he said cut the grass, we didn't pull. No. We're talking about that manual one.
That you have to
Go back a little bit. Go back a little bit.
Until you get stuck.
Right? And then go forward or else you get stuck. Because if you just push forward, you get stuck in the grass.
Yeah.
So you go back a little bit, get a little, el imbión, right?
Yeah.
The push. And then once it starts spinning,
Yeah.
cutting the grass manually. Right? It starts raining. My dad goes, go and cut the grass right now. I go, it's raining. Yeah, I know. And sometimes you're going to have to do things outside in the rain. And he did that just so that I would know sometimes this is going to happen. He sent me to live in Honduras when I was 12 years old to 15 years old, to live on a farm, to learn how to milk cows, to figure out all this different lifestyle. Again, I get demoted. At 12, I could go to the 10th grade. Nope, you're going to go to Honduras and you're going to learn to be a man. And he taught me how to be a man, how to milk, how to mend fences, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How to go get a cow, how to inject the cow, how to vaccinate, just all these things that today, physically, they don't help me at all. But man, do they give me perspective on life. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
Like today, I can look back at that day and go, Jesus, I'm not there. Like no matter how bad a day is, I can look back and go, that could have been me. If my dad had not come to this country and been a dreamer, would I have been that dreamer? Would I be the guy that made it to this country?
Yeah.
I have no idea. But I never had to answer that question because of him. And so him putting me in these situations, right? Him putting me in the let him cry.
Yeah.
Let him cry. No, let him cry. And then he would let me cry. And then I'd feel embarrassed. I'd feel shamed. Like, what the fuck was I crying about? That was so stupid. It was almost like I was crying to prove a point.
Yeah.
And my dad would just let me. One of the best stories I know, and I really respect, because you brought up the name, Brad Williams' father. He told me this story one time, and I went, oh, my God. So Brad Williams, for you people that don't know, is a dwarf who has achondroplasia, and he's, I think, 4'6". But his dad, like he would say, Dad, could you get the coffee mug up there? And his dad would go, well, what would you do if I wasn't here?
Yeah. Brad's told me some of these stories.
Would you starve? Would you? Or would you find a way to get up there? And, dude, I remember one time I did that to him, not on purpose. I swear to God, not on purpose. So we're at McDonald's. And we all get, we all get our food. I actually went and got all the trays. I said, you guys sit down. Let me serve you guys. You know what I mean? Let me be your opener right now. So I ordered all the food. I got everything. I put the trays there. I put them all down, and I went, oh, I forgot to get ketchup. I go, Brad, could you get ketchup? I did not even think about where the ketchup is, bro. It's on a counter. So all I hear, Brad hopping on, putting his leg, jumping up, and landing on the counter. He gets all the ketchups and jumps off the counter. And I'm watching this like, I can't believe I just did that
But he didn't complain. He didn't complain, did he?
No. Not only did he not complain, for him it was like, what are you talking about? That's what I do.
I just have to figure
I'm
it out.
little. This is how it happens for me. I got to figure it out. And, thank you. And he was more like, no, thank you for treating me like a person and not looking at the tallest guy and going, hey, get it for me. Yeah. Thank you for the fact that at that moment, I was not a dwarf. I was not little. I was just the guy closest to the ketchup.
But the difference in perspectives, you saw it as a negative thing. He's
I
like,
saw
this
it like
is,
I'm fucked up.
you're-
What
you're-
an
you're-
asshole
you're
I
a
am.
piece of shit.
Yes.
And he's like, I just got to do it.
Yes. And that was his perspective. But his father taught him that stuff, right? His father knew that because of his, whatever you want to call it.
Like
because
he's going to go through some shit
Yes.
that dad's not going to be able to protect him from.
Exactly. And he got him ready for that, right? Which the story that he told me, but you know what? It's that story is not even important. This one is it. It's what you said right now. I want to go there. We are not or have not prepared our children for the world that exists. We have prepared our children for a pretend world that should be. Our children are raised in a place that doesn't exist, right? It's not in a vacuum.
It's a world of electric scooters and this.
But it's also
And
a
I'm
world
just
where
gonna
people
stare
make
at
fun
this.
of you.
But this is my reality, not this. This is my reality.
The phone is a reality, but it's also, we didn't prepare them for kids that don't like them. We didn't prepare them for kids that are going to be mean to them, for kids that are going to.
I think bullies are necessary for the food chain. How I started becoming funny is to get out of fights.
But that's the thing. Pressure, right, and coal create diamonds, right? We don't put pressure on our kids, and so it's hard. And look, you can go to any 30 for 30, or you can go on any streaming platform and watch the documentaries of the greats.
Yes.
And they all have stories like, my dad never let me win when we played so-and-so. He never let me win.
Yeah.
And it just made me harder and harder. Some of those stories, in my opinion, are extreme, right? I got a 8-year-old son. Yes, I can kick his ass if we play Tekken pretty much every game, right? But I don't do that because that's not the lesson I want to teach him. I want him to learn that you should have fun. Now, I beat him enough so that he accepts defeat.
Yeah.
But I don't beat him to berate him.
And how does he respond to it? Does he play more by himself to make sure that I can beat Dad the next time? Dad,
he does.
So when you get off the road,
yes,
Dad, let's play.
Yes.
I'm ready.
Yes,
I'm ready.
He does. He now like gets ready for it, and then sometimes he'll start like crying and getting mad, and then I'll tell him, listen, you got to stop playing if this is your attitude. This is for fun. We're doing this for fun. Yeah. So have fun or you cannot play.
But how do you teach him that what you're feeling right now is frustration? Like, how do you teach that? How do you teach that?
Well, it depends. What I'm trying to teach him.
Because you know what he's feeling.
Yes, but that's not what I'm trying to teach him. What I'm trying to teach him is this isn't shit you need to be frustrated about. That's what I'm trying to teach him at that moment. Not that, I know you're frustrated and this is how you feel. For me, it's like, no. This is a video game.
Yeah.
It's a stupid game. For you to have this attitude over that game, no, not going to happen. So if you want to play that game, you need to have a positive attitude. Period. End of story. Because that's what this is about. To let him understand that there are certain things in life that are okay to be sad about. This isn't one of them.
Yeah.
Dude, having anxiety every time you get in a car, every time you get on a plane, every time you have to talk to people, that's not their fault. That's us not putting them in situations. That's me saying to Lucas, hey, get your ass downstairs right now. There's a lot of people here in the backyard hanging out, and I want you to say hello to everybody and talk to everybody and just have a chat. And no, you can't have a drink. You can't have something that's going to smooth the edges. You're a human being. And then, and it's funny because during COVID, Lucas, my oldest, who was 15, 16, 14, 15 at the time, after about 2 weeks of being, quarantined, he's all like, Dad, I miss being around my friends now. I'm like, oh, so I got to pull teeth to get you to come and hang out, to get you to go hang out with your friends, to say, I'll ride you there. Where are they? What are they doing? I gotta fucking pull teeth to get this dude. But 2 weeks of not having them, and now you're like, I want connection, Dad. So those are the things that I'm trying to teach them without having to go through the quarantine process.
Yeah.
Which I feel that we haven't done. A participation trophy when kids are little, and they don't understand what winning is, that's one thing. My 8-year-old is already competitive. He needs to learn how to lose. He needs to learn how to accept defeat. He needs to learn that, because that's, dude, if anybody's life was all good, hell yeah, raise your child that way. Okay. But that's not what the world is. The world is filled with nepotism. And that's not going to end. Yeah. You're telling me that you have a sister or a brother and you work at such and such? Look, if you don't understand nepotism, go to any nail salon across the country, pretty much. How do you think all those people from Vietnam got those jobs?
Yeah.
Nepotism. One person got that job and said, you have to come here. They give you a job doing nail, and then the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. It's all related. How do you think that all these people from the Philippines ended up in the medical industry? Do you really think that there's some predisposition for Filipinos to want to put in IVs?
They were given the pamphlet. Hey, we wrote the steps out. Just follow these steps and you're going to be fine.
Nepotism.
Yeah.
Nepotism.
But somebody figured out the way.
Right. They figured out, they said, come. That's a part of life. So for you to sit around and complain about nepotism and all this, you're not going to get rid of human nature, right? It's human nature. And this is the problem, that we raise our kids to live in this perfect world, like a safe space. What the fuck is that? Yeah. Do you really believe that there's going to be a world in a country that has freedom of speech where people are going to use the words and the vernacular and the appropriate tenses and the appropriate modes in order for you to feel good, because we don't want to offend you. We don't want to hurt your feelings. That's not the world we live in. The world, and by the way, let's be real. These kids are fucking way meaner than we were, because we didn't hide behind a name and their graphics. We did yo mama jokes to each other's faces. And by the way, we fought each other after school, bro. After school. And then after the fight was done, which wasn't even a real fight. What, a fight between 10 and 11-year-olds, 13-year-olds? Not even a real fight. But at the end, the majority of those guys end up really good friends.
Oh, yeah.
After the fights. And I remember they would say, dude, you guys fight. And I remember like those moments where I was like, dude, after school. And they were like, after school. But this was like at 11. Dude, by the time after school came around, we were both looking at each other like,
what were we mad at?
I don't want to do this. And they're looking at you like, I don't want to do this either. But everybody around is like, a fight, a fight. And I don't know if you had this. They would say a beaner and a white. I don't know why white, because there was no white people. It just rhymed with fight.
Yeah.
But we would look at each other like, I don't want to fight. I don't want. And then all of a sudden they're pushing us into each other. Yeah. Because they were almost like, somebody promoted a fight today, and this fight is going to happen, goddammit.
Why did this guy have a Don King wig on? What's going on here?
But all of those things, right, taught us that all this other stuff isn't that big of a deal, right?
Most things are not a big deal.
But that's not what this generation
Somebody came up with after a show, an adult. I just wanted to let you know, Gabe, this particular word, I don't remember the word, is a trigger word for me. So you're telling me I'm not allowed to use the word because it's a trigger word for you?
Correct.
Is go fuck yourself a trigger word for you?
Right.
Because it's not my job to be responsible for what triggers you.
Correct. And by the way, what's triggering them is not real.
No. It's a made-up thing.
It's their head.
Like we've talked about being offended. If somebody chooses to be offended,
it's a choice.
It is a decision you make. Those words,
right.
You're just telling me that your opinion is more important than mine.
Right.
Go fuck yourself.
But it's also parents that, like, don't cuss in front of their kids. Right?
Yeah. No.
I cuss in front of my kids. But my kids also know.
They're bad words.
Yeah, that they can't say them. Like, I'll give you an example. Oh, this is a great example. So my son was 7 at the time. This is Nicholas. We were playing on the Xbox a mini golf. It was me, Nicholas, Lucas, and Kalen. Kalen Genobaga is one of my openers, and he is Filipino. Anyway, he's taking a long time to kind of figure out how he's gonna hit this ball through all this stuff.
Yeah.
Nicholas goes, "Hey, bro, you gotta go," and jokingly Kalen goes, "I am just trying to figure out my Asian calculation." So now Nicholas is, my Asian calculation, my Asian calculation, my Asian calculation. Oh. So the other day we're out in public.
Oh.
Yeah, out in public. And Nicholas, it was an appropriate thing to say at the appropriate time. But Nicholas goes, "Oh, he's just trying to figure out his Asian calculation." Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Dad. I know I'm not supposed to say that outside the house. I am so sorry. Like, he caught himself, bro.
I know we maintain our racism inside the house, Dad.
Yes, he understood, like, this racism is only to be exhibited amongst ourselves. We do not show this side of who we are to other people. But he understood that. And he understood that there's an appropriate time and an appropriate place. Dude, part of the reason why I loved and gravitated towards stand-up was because when I was a kid and I had the thoughts that I have right now as a comedian, my mother would see that in my eye, and she would always go, "You better not say what you're thinking. Not here. Not right now. Not here." And then I discovered stand-up. The one place where my mother couldn't tell me, "Not here, not now," because this is the place for all those thoughts.
Yeah.
It's part of why I became a comedian, because she told me that. I think that parents today need to put their kids in situations where it hurts, in situations where bad things happen. Look, I'm going to end it with this, unless you have something to say.
No, I'm following your lead.
So, best day. This is kind of one of those moments where in City Slickers he goes, "What was the worst day of your life?" And he tells them the story. And then he goes, "And what was the best day of your life?" And he goes, "The same day."
Same day.
So that's a moment for me. My son is about 11, 10. He's playing competitive soccer. I didn't want him to be in a league where you get trophies for participation. I put him in a real league.
Yeah.
He's a decent player. But at the time, he was still very introverted, very guarded.
Yeah.
Anyway, they tie for the championship, and they go to penalties, and it goes down to him. He's the last guy. If he scores, they keep going to penalties. If he doesn't score, they lose.
Game's over.
Game's over. He hits it to the left, and the goalie blocks it. Worst moment of my life, bro. Worst moment of my life. Dude, I can't even explain to you.
Is it because you saw the disappointment in your son's eyes?
Because I knew what he was going to go through. I knew that he was going to feel
you were feeling
horrible.
the feelings that he hasn't even felt yet.
Oh, I immediately knew what he was going to go through. I immediately knew that he was going to put it on himself. I know my son. He's the kind of guy that he internalizes everything, right? He doesn't put it out there. He just makes it inside, and all of a sudden, and I knew that his brain just started going, "What did I do? I can't believe it. I let him down. I suck. I'm horrible. It was my fault. It was my fault. It was my fault." I know that this is going, so I'm just holding in a big ball of snot, bro. I'm just hurting like you can't imagine. There's nothing I can do.
You haven't even talked to your son yet.
There's
and you're feeling all these.
nothing I can do for him.
Yeah.
He has to deal with this.
Yes.
And I want to protect him from it, but I can't. And I'm the asshole that made him join this league. I'm the dick that made him join the competitive league where this could happen in the first place. And I'm just feeling all these feelings, and I'm feeling just so awesome, but just hurting. And then, as the teams line up to shake each other's hands, I look down the field, and Lucas is about 20 to 30 feet away from where they're lining up. And I run over there to him, bro. And I immediately dry up. Everything changes in my face. You've seen that look.
Yeah.
And I look at him and I grab him by the shoulder and I go, no, 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 no. You do not walk away and you do not show shame. You did the best that you could and I am proud of you. And that's the only thing that could ever be asked. But you are not the reason that this is done. You are just part of a team.
You are part of the team.
And you need to get in that line and show everybody that you are a part of that team, and you shake everybody's hand on the other side because they won the game. And you hold your head up high and be proud that you did the best that you possibly could. And if you're telling me that you could have done better, then practice harder. I'll get you a coach, or we'll get a different coach because you already coach. We'll do whatever it takes. But you hold your head up high, son. I love you, and I'm proud of you. And he just wiped his tears, bro.
Go.
And he got in that line, and he shook everybody's hand. And at the end, I'm like, are you okay, Dad? And he said, no, but I will be after we go to Baskin-Robbins. And we went to Baskin-Robbins, and he got his ice cream or whatever he wanted. And after that, he was fine. And, he's good with being competitive now.
That's a huge life lesson, though, especially the first time you deal with it.
Dude, it is so hard, bro. It is so, and it's so hard because I wanted him to learn that lesson.
Yeah, had he won, no lesson to teach.
Correct. Had he won, it would have been something completely different.
I think the right thing happened.
And
you happened to be there because you're on the road so often.
Yeah.
So this happened to be a moment that you happened to witness.
Yeah.
And you were able to be dad. No,
Yeah.
that's not how you do things.
And it hurts. It hurts to
And it's
discipline your
supposed to.
kid. It hurts
It's
to
gonna
tell him
hurt
you
you
can't
more.
do this. It hurts to make him sit down and go, you have to eat that. I don't care. Because here's the thing. When I was a kid and my mother said, you got to finish your food, it's because it's what you talked about. They made a pot of food. That was it. We didn't have extra. There was no, if my mother would have started, especially in the other house, if my mother would have started with, oh, no, well, she doesn't like shrimp and he doesn't like beef and they don't like chicken, she would have been cooking 8 goddamn meals a day. So in one house, even though I was an only child, we ate what my mother ate. And on the other one, we ate what my fucking mother ate. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I do that to my kids. Is it hard? Yeah. We got a goddamn a walk-in pantry in my house. Yes, we have food. We have 4 refrigerators filled with food.
With 4 people living in the house, by the way.
Yes. Could we every single time make a different meal for these kids? Yes. But there's also a lesson to be learned of, hey, when you go out, and so the other day, my son Lucas goes, man, thanks, Dad, for teaching me to eat whatever it is. And part of me was because, dude, if I ever came home visiting somebody's house and my mother heard that when they served food, I said, well, I don't usually eat that, dude.
Now you make the family look bad. Now you make your mom look bad.
Bro, that would have been one of those moments where my mother would have started hopping. Like
the boxer that's about to get...
like a boxer that's about to go into a fight, bro. She would just start you embarrassed the family. And she would have just she would have got in my ass. So that never happened. But I also want to tell my kids, and Amy, thank God, is the same way, where she's like, you didn't say you don't like what they did, right? Oh, no, Dad, I didn't say that. What did you do? I just ate around. I'm not a big shrimp guy, but I didn't say I don't like shrimp. They just served the shrimp, and then I tasted a little bit of sauce, and it was not bad. And so, I'm like, oh, thank God I did a good job on that one. You know what I mean? But it's not easy to do that. It's not easy to watch a kid sitting at a table pouting because they don't want to eat what's in front of them, and they might not really like it. They literally might not like it.
Yeah.
But God damn it, I got to teach them a lesson here. And it's not easy to teach those lessons. But I think that where we went wrong as parents is we grew up going, man, my mother made me do this, my father made me do that, my parents made me do this, they didn't let me do that. I would have been so much happier if they would have done that. So you know what I'm going to do for my kids? I'm going to give them all that.
What would have made you happy? What you thought would have made you happy?
And it might have made me happy, but it didn't teach me the life lessons that my boss might have given that promotion to somebody else. That I busted my ass, but I'm not getting paid as much as I should. That I should have went on that retreat, but they didn't invite me. That I love her, I love him, and I do so much for them, but they don't reciprocate that love. All of these life lessons, which are now hitting them in the face, giving them anxiety about life, are all because we didn't take the time to do the painful thing as parents and teach them those lessons. And I guess to those young parents out there, listen, man, teach those lessons. You don't have to hit your kids, but if they don't respect you, you're going to have real shitty kids in the future. You're just going to have kids that don't. You have something on your mind.
I think it's hard to raise a good kid. It's harder to raise a shitty kid because there are, like the life lessons. You took a big hit on a soccer game where you were not on the field.
Right.
But it would have been worse had you not been able to step in.
Right.
Because that was a genuine father-son moment. No, that is not how we do things. You're going to play like a gentleman. You are part of a team. You are not the team, and you are going to get there with your team, and you lost with your team, not by yourself.
Yeah.
That's one of the great. I love that from Ted Lasso. It's like,
right.
The worst thing to do is to be alone, and nobody in this room is alone right now.
Right. No, you're 100%. And but that's also with pain. You know, so many people when they're in pain, they're like, man, I'm the only one. No, and you say this all the time. No.
Yeah.
Not even close.
There is nothing anybody can feel on this planet that nobody hasn't felt before.
Or is feeling at that very
Right
moment
now.
around the planet.
Within your reach, by the way.
Yeah.
Not someone on the other side of the world.
Yeah, we're
within
not
your
that.
reach.
You don't have to go to Africa to find somebody that's feeling the pain that you're feeling.
Yeah.
Probably in the house next door.
You're the only one that's dealing with an illness. You're the only one that's dealing with a breakup. You're the only one that's dealing with a divorce. Nobody else has dealt with that in the world.
Right, yeah. About half of the people get divorced, but you're the only one.
You know,
you're the only person.
I always assume death is the worst thing, and you should be smart enough to know you're not the only person that has dealt with death.
Yeah, or with wanting to commit suicide or with dealing
Having
with
those
those
negative
issues.
feelings.
Yeah, it's a part of life, and part of life is not always being happy. Makes the happy moments great.
That's why you appreciate the good. You have to take the bad.
Hey, it's perspective. It's that part of the Matrix, which sounds so disgusting. But in the first Matrix, when he says the first, I don't want to do Mr. Anderson. Oh, I was going to get him Mr. Yeah. So anyway, the first Matrix they built was built to be a utopia, a perfect world. He goes, and all these crops were lost. And a lot of people thought we don't have the language to interpret what it is. And Agent Smith says, I think that human beings define their lives by the misery and the worst. And it's true. We define our lives based on, right? This is bad, this is good. But when there's no bad, when you teach your kids that there's no bad, that nobody's going to make fun of them, that nobody's going to talk to them, that no teacher's going to dislike them.
And then you get triggered, and then I start getting hurt. And why did he talk to me like that?
Because it's not supposed to be this way. But it is. And your parents did a huge fucking disservice to you. And by the way, to all you Gen Zers and all Gen Xers, you young kids, please, 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 when you listen to this podcast, understand that we're coming from a place of wanting to help you, right? Of wanting to help you deal with all the shit that's going to come your way so that when it happens, you don't freak out. Here's an example. I've never in my life been freaked out on a plane, and I've flown over 6 million miles in my lifetime to date where there was turbulence. No matter how bad the turbulence was.
Really?
Never get freaked out. Do you want me to tell you why?
Why?
No plane has ever crashed because of turbulence. Ever. That has never happened in the history of planes because planes are built to be flexible in the air, and no matter how much, they can bend. There are certain planes that have a 24-foot ability, 12 feet up and 12 feet down. So the wings can literally go bend 12 feet up and bend 12 feet down.
Wow.
So they're built to be able to withstand that. That's what they're built for. So that's never going to happen. So I don't freak out because I know for a fact that we're not going to crash and we're not going to die. So knowing that allows me to deal with it. I hope that that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. That look, it's life. And those sayings of whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Those are real. Those mean something. So read a book or something. And instead of saying, let me tell you why we're like that, I know why you're like this. I get it.
We're trying to get you out of it.
We fucked up. I'm sorry as a parent. Even though I didn't raise my kids that way, I'm sorry. But we're trying to get you to a different place. So please, please, please understand that, yes, somebody is starving while you didn't finish your nachos. Yes, somebody in the rest of the world might have lived an extra day based on the food that we didn't eat. Americans only eat 25% of the food that we purchase. I mean, 75%. 25% of the food that we purchase in this country does not get eaten. All that food probably could have saved some lives somewhere around the world. That's real. Doesn't mean you got to feel guilty every day. Do the best that you can. I give money to the charities that I can, and outside of that, what am I gonna do? First of all, I'm already fat because of that.
Yeah.
Because I grew up with, there's food on your plate. You have to finish it. I literally have to tell myself now, dude, I don't have to eat that taco, even though I ordered it. It's okay not to eat that taco.
But it's so good.
I know, but I'm going to be fat. Like, let it go. I don't have to, you know what I mean? Like, anyway, these are lessons that we didn't teach you. So we're talking about it now so that hopefully it makes a difference in your life. And you begin to not be anxious about the weather. Oh my God, it's outside. I have anxiety. Like, that's just, it's gone too far.
Yeah.
So let's bring it back. And you guys understanding that the world is a beautiful place and a shitty place. Filled with people that will pull over if they see you walking, or pull over if they see you, and help you change a tire and take you to the tire place to get the tire to bring it back. There are people like that. And there are people that are going to pull over and tell you, I'm going to help you and take you away and you'll never be seen again.
Yeah.
Both exist. Two extremes, by the way, but they're real. Right?
Yeah.
So anyway, this is what we had. Hopefully this means something to you guys. Share this with whoever needs to be shared with, because I think it's a very important conversation, especially for the youth.
I just think take a deep fucking breath and count to 10 and think. Just think. Is it really as bad as your head is making it?
There you go. Words to live by. Until next time, everybody. Peace!
See ya.